The night air is cool and laced with the scent of heather and damp stone, a whisper from the ancient past. A silver mist rolls over the Highland hills, veiling the world in a quiet embrace, while the flickering glow of a distant torchlight beckons through the dark. Somewhere beyond the soft rustle of the wind, the faint echo of bagpipes carries across the moors, a tune as old as the land itself, a melody that lingers between waking and dreaming. A path of worn cobblestones stretches before you, leading toward the silhouette of a castle standing tall against the night sky. Its turrets rise like sentinels above the landscape, the weight of history pressed into every carved stone and iron-bound door. Inside, the warmth of a crackling fire awaits, its golden light spilling across thick stone walls, adorned with faded tapestries, whispering of kings and warriors, of whispered secrets and noble feasts. Beyond the great hall, the corridors of the castle stretch like the pages of a forgotten book, waiting to be explored. Each chamber holds a different story, some of honor and grandeur, others of mystery and legend. Footsteps of centuries past seem to echo softly through the halls, but here, wrapped in the stillness of the night, there is nothing to fear. The castle breathes with a deep and steady calm, as if it too has been waiting for this moment of peace. Tonight, you will journey through Scotland's castles, where history lingers in the candlelight and the land is steeped in legend. You will walk through ancient fortresses, where the whispers of the past drift through the air like mist over the lochs. The night is long, and the world outside fades into the distance, leaving only the quiet glow of a castle window, the hush of the Highlands, and the promise of a night wrapped in the comfort of stone walls and ancient dreams. Welcome to Bedtime Travel Stories, where soothing tales and gentle narrations take you on a tranquil journey through the world's most enchanting places, right from the comfort of your bed. Unwind and travel with us as we explore the globe one story at a time, helping you relax and drift into a peaceful sleep. The castle stands high above the city, a silent guardian upon its volcanic throne. As the mist drifts lazily through the night, Edinburgh Castle appears almost weightless, suspended between earth and sky, its stone walls softened by the glow of flickering torches. The city below hums with distant life, but up here atop Castle Rock all is still. The crisp night air carries the scent of aged stone and the distant memory of 1,000 years of history. Even the wind that curls around the ancient battlements seems to whisper the stories of the past, its voice weaving through the corridors like an unseen presence. Through the towering gates, the grand esplanade stretches beneath your feet, the same ground where soldiers once marched, their footsteps echoing through time. The rough stone pathway has borne the weight of kings, warriors, and prisoners alike. Tonight, it is empty, save for the steady glow of lanterns casting elongated shadows across the walls. The air is thick with quiet reverence, as though the spirits of the past still linger in the shadowed corners of the halls. A single candle flickers within the great hall, its golden flame reflecting upon the polished suits of armor that stand like silent sentinels against the walls. Above, the rafters loom high, darkened with age, and bearing witness to centuries of gatherings, feasts, and whispered conspiracies. The scent of old wood and cooled embers lingers, mingling with the faint traces of candle wax and iron. Your footsteps are soft on the stone floor as you pass the grand fireplace, where the warmth of long-past fires once cast flickering light upon knights in their finery. A whisper of wind passes through the stone of destiny, resting in its place of honor. This is the stone upon which Scotland's kings were crowned, its surface worn smooth by centuries of history. Nearby, the crown jewels of Scotland gleam under careful watch, gold, sapphire, and emerald twinkling in the dim light, their brilliance untouched by time. It is easy to imagine the weight of a crown upon your brow, the hush of a room full of nobles awaiting a monarch's decree. The treasures rest silently behind glass, but their history hums in the air as though the echoes of royal processions still linger. Further within, the castle's prisons tell a different tale. Beneath thick, impenetrable stone, heavy doors creak open to reveal the iron-barred cells where prisoners once waited for fate's decree. The air is damp, carrying the scent of aged wood and cold stone. Their stories are etched into the walls, names scratched into the rock, letters of longing and loss left behind. Somewhere in the distance, a slow drumbeat echoes, a phantom memory of the soldiers once held captive here, their footsteps lost to time. Beyond the cells, a narrow passageway leads to St. Margaret's Chapel, the oldest surviving part of the castle. It is a small, unassuming space, its simple stone walls exuding a quiet tranquility. The flickering candlelight inside casts soft golden hues upon the aged wood of the altar, and the faint scent of incense lingers. Here, history does not feel heavy, it feels peaceful, as though the castle's most sacred space offers shelter from the ages of battle and intrigue. The stillness within is profound, a stark contrast to the grandeur of the great hall and the weight of the prisons. Above, the 1 o'clock gun stands silent for the night, its cannon resting beneath the vast star-speckled sky. By day, it signals time for the city below, but tonight the silence is uninterrupted. Beyond the battlements, the landscape stretches in every direction, Arthur's Seat rising in the distance, the twinkling Firth of Forth shimmering beneath the moonlight. A soft breeze carries the scent of the distant sea, blending with the earthy aroma of the castle's weathered stones. A chill runs through the air, carrying with it a presence unseen but not unfelt. The headless drummer, one of Edinburgh Castle's most famous ghosts, is said to make his presence known before great events. Though the night is still, an unshakable feeling of something just beyond the veil lingers in the air. But there is no fear here, only the quiet embrace of the castle as it cradles you in the depths of its ancient halls, offering a moment of serenity before sleep takes hold. You lean against the cool stone of the battlements, letting your gaze rest upon the flickering lights of the city far below. The distant hum of life fades into nothingness, replaced by the rhythmic hush of the wind. Here, in the heart of Scotland's most storied stronghold, time seems to stand still. The castle, eternal and unyielding, watches over the land as it has for centuries. And as you drift deeper into the quiet of the night, the fortress remains, silent, steadfast, and waiting for the dawn. Atop a craggy hill, where the land meets the sky, Stirling Castle stands in quiet majesty. Encircled by rolling green fields and the distant peaks of the Highlands, it has watched over Scotland's heartland for centuries. The air carries a crisp coolness, the kind that lingers just before dawn, carrying the scent of dewy grass and distant pine. A hush settles over the stone walls, as though the castle itself is pausing between past and present, waiting for history to breathe once more. The castle esplanade, vast and commanding, stretches out like a welcoming embrace. Beneath your feet, the well-worn stone path has borne the weight of kings and warriors alike. In the stillness, it is easy to imagine the thunderous arrival of Robert the Bruce, his men riding through the gates in triumph after the Battle of Bannockburn. Tonight, however, there is only silence, save for the occasional hoot of an owl in the distant woodlands beyond the walls. Stepping inside, the great hall is a vision of regal splendor, bathed in the golden glow of candlelight. The walls, once alive with the voices of monarchs and courtiers, now seem to listen rather than speak. The high-beam ceiling, its structure an intricate web of wooden craftsmanship, curves overhead like the ribs of a mighty ship. A long banquet table stands at the heart of the hall, its surface smoothed by time, still holding the echoes of feasts, whispered alliances, and silent betrayals. Not far beyond, a narrow passageway leads to the Queen's lodgings, where Mary, Queen of Scots, once lived in quiet contemplation. The chamber is warm, lit by a soft, flickering fire, the scent of aged wood filling the air. The walls are adorned with the intricate Stirling heads, carved wooden portraits of noble figures watching from above. Their expressions, frozen in time, seem to whisper secrets of royal intrigue. Outside, the gardens offer a tranquil respite. The Queen Anne garden, with its neatly trimmed hedges and ancient yew trees, spreads out in a sea of green, a stark contrast to the formidable stone walls beyond. A cool breeze stirs the leaves, sending a soft rustling through the air, as though the castle itself is exhaling a breath it has held for centuries. Here, standing amidst the flowers and ivy-clad walls, the world outside feels distant, lost in the embrace of Scotland's past. Further along the ramparts, the wall walk offers breathtaking views of the surrounding countryside. In the far distance, the River Forth winds its way through the valley, a silver ribbon beneath the starlit sky. Beyond it, the Highlands rise in shadowed majesty, their peaks dusted with mist, forming a gateway to the wilds beyond. This was the dividing line between the lowlands and the untamed north, a place where history was written in the footsteps of warriors, the clash of steel, and the quiet resolve of kings. Turning back toward the castle's towering defenses, the four-work gate looms overhead, its stonework a testament to the ingenuity of Scottish fortifications. It was here that many battles raged, as invaders sought to claim the castle's high ground. But tonight all is still. The night air carries only the faintest sounds, the sigh of the wind, the whisper of leaves, and the distant call of a lone bird settling into the darkness. For a moment, time seems to slow. The castle stands as it always has, steadfast, unyielding, and bathed in the soft glow of the moon. The weight of history settles gently, not as a burden, but as a lullaby of the ages. And as sleep begins to take hold, Stirling Castle remains, watching over the land as it has for centuries, waiting for the dawn. The air is crisp with the scent of salt and mist, as Eilean Donan Castle rises from its rocky islet where three great lochs meet. The surrounding waters shimmer under the moonlight, their surface broken only by the gentle ripples of the tide. The bridge, ancient and steadfast, stretches across the dark water, leading to the castle's great stone gate. It stands as if untouched by time, a silent guardian of the Highlands, wrapped in the embrace of rugged mountains and endless sky. As you step onto the bridge, the world around you stills. The only sounds are the rhythmic lapping of the water against the shore and the occasional distant call of an owl. The castle looms ahead, its walls bathed in the silvery glow of the moon, standing as they have for centuries, watching over the lochs, the land, and the souls who have passed through its gates. Through the portcullis, the air grows cooler, thick with the scent of damp stone and aged wood. The courtyard is small yet commanding, its cobbled path leading to the great hall, where echoes of the past linger in the flickering candlelight. The walls, lined with ancient tapestries and the mounted antlers of stags, whisper of old clan gatherings, of warriors resting from battle, and of whispered Highland oaths sworn in the depths of the night. Inside, the fireplace crackles softly, its embers casting long shadows along the stone walls. The scent of burning peat mingles with that of worn leather and polished wood, filling the room with a warmth that seems to hold back the Highland chill. The glow of candlelight dances along the suits of armor that stand in quiet vigilance, their silent presence a reminder of the centuries of struggle and triumph that unfolded within these walls. Beyond the hall, a narrow staircase spirals upward to the bedchamber, where the thick stone walls hold in the warmth of the hearth. A wooden bed, draped in heavy tartan blankets, rests beneath the vaulted ceiling. The wind outside whistles softly, slipping through the cracks in the stone, a lullaby carried by the Highland air. From the narrow window, the lochs stretch into the distance, their waters reflecting the moon, as if the sky itself has fallen to the earth. A small wooden door creaks open to a passage that leads to the battlements. Here the full scope of the landscape unfolds. Loch Duich, Loch Long, and Loch Alsh converging below, while the mist-laden hills stand like ancient sentinels beyond. The wind carries the scent of heather and sea spray, blending the wilderness and the water into one endless, untamed expanse. It is easy to imagine the castle's past, of clan gatherings, of watchmen scanning the horizon for enemy ships, of flickering torchlight reflecting in the lochs as Highlanders prepared for battle. The night here is timeless, untouched by the modern world, wrapped in a silence that hums with history. A single candle flickers in the distance, its glow barely visible through the castle's thick windows. As you stand on the battlements, the sky shifts, Stars glimmer against the ink-black expanse, while the silhouette of the castle remains unshaken against time's endless current. A deep stillness settles over the land, as the waters below carry the reflections of 1,000 years. Tonight, Eilean Donan Castle is a place of peace, where the past and present rest side by side. And as your eyelids grow heavy, the castle remains, its walls unyielding, its towers standing tall, watching over the Highlands as they have always done, waiting for the first light of dawn. Nestled among ancient woodlands and rolling meadows, Glamis Castle rises from the mist like something out of a dream. Its grand towers and turrets, bathed in soft moonlight, seem to glow against the dark Scottish sky. The castle's red sandstone walls, warmed by centuries of sun and storm, hold stories as old as Scotland itself. From the winding drive that leads to its entrance, the scent of damp earth and blooming heather fills the cool night air. Glamis is no ordinary castle. It is a place of whispered legends, royal secrets, and the lingering presence of those who once walked its shadowed halls. Stepping through the heavy wooden doors, the great hall stretches before you, vast and imposing, its high ceilings lost in darkness. The crackling of the grand fireplace sends flickering light across the ancient stone walls, illuminating tapestries woven with scenes of battles, hunts, and regal feasts. The scent of aged oak and burning peat lingers in the air. The long banquet table, polished to a deep sheen, holds the memory of countless royal gatherings. Here Mary, Queen of Scots, once dined, and centuries later, Queen Elizabeth II spent her childhood summers within these very walls. Beyond the hall, a narrow stone passage leads to the chapel, a place of hushed reverence. Soft candlelight flickers against the stained glass windows, casting a kaleidoscope of colors onto the worn flagstone floor. This chapel is said to be home to an unseen presence, a spectral figure robed in white, known only as the Lady of Glamis. Some say she prays silently in the shadows, forever waiting for a peace that never comes. Outside, the wind murmurs through the corridors, carrying the faintest echo of unseen footsteps. Ascending the spiral staircase, the royal chambers come into view. Richly draped in velvet, the four-poster bed dominates the room, its heavy canopy embroidered with golden thistles. The walls hold grand portraits of past lairds and ladies, their eyes seeming to follow you as you move. The air is thick with history, the weight of centuries pressing gently against the stillness of the night. Beyond the chambers, another passage winds through the heart of the castle, leading to the most whispered of all its secrets, the hidden room. Legends tell of a bricked-up chamber, concealed behind the walls, where a dark secret is said to be locked away. Some claim it holds the remains of an heir who was never meant to be seen by the outside world. Others speak of a gathering of nobles caught in an eternal game of cards, their spirits trapped in an endless night. Though no door has ever been found, the sense of mystery lingers, as if the castle itself remembers what the world has long forgotten. Stepping onto the battlements, the rolling Angus countryside stretches into the distance. The moors and meadows are hushed beneath a starlit sky, the trees whispering with the breeze, the river curling like a silver thread in the darkness. The world beyond the castle walls is silent, but within the stories never sleep. Tonight, Glamis Castle stands as it always has, steadfast, regal, and brimming with the echoes of Scotland's past. And as you drift into slumber, the castle watches over the land, just as it has for generations, waiting for the first golden light of dawn to touch its ancient stones. The night air is crisp as the ruins of Urquhart Castle rise from the misty banks of Loch Ness. The ancient stones, worn by time and battle, stand in silent watch over the dark waters. A veil of mist curls along the surface of the loch, swirling in the moon's soft glow, giving the landscape an ethereal quality. The stillness of the night is broken only by the distant lapping of water against the shore and the occasional rustle of wind through the heather-cloaked hills. Beneath the castle's watchful gaze, the depths of Loch Ness stretch endlessly into the unknown. The castle's remains, though fragmented, tell a story of power, conflict, and resilience. Once a mighty fortress, Urquhart was a stronghold during the Scottish Wars of Independence, changing hands between clans, kings, and invaders. Its shattered towers and broken walls are remnants of a past filled with siege and struggle, yet even in its ruin, it remains one of Scotland's most iconic fortresses. As you step onto the grounds, the air carries the scent of damp stone and wild thyme, a reminder that time may weather stone, but it does not erase history. The gatehouse, though partially collapsed, still holds the weight of its past. Walking through its archway, the ruins open into the great hall, where once feasts were held, and the flames of the hearth cast warmth upon gathered clansmen. Now, only the whisper of the wind moves through the space, carrying echoes of long-lost voices. The stones beneath your feet hold centuries of stories, of alliances made and broken, of Highlanders defending their home against the march of history. Climbing the Grant Tower, the tallest surviving structure of the castle, the loch unfolds beneath you like a sea of ink. The Highlands roll into the distance, bathed in moonlight, their peaks softened by mist. The water below is still, save for the occasional ripple, though the depths hold mysteries yet unsolved. Legends of the Loch Ness monster have drifted through these waters for generations. Some claim to have glimpsed something beneath the surface, an ancient presence stirring in the darkness, while others believe it is simply the loch's way of playing tricks on the mind. Beyond the tower, the castle's outer walls crumble into the landscape, as if slowly being reclaimed by the earth. The ruins whisper of the day it was deliberately destroyed, its walls torn apart by its own defenders to prevent it from falling into enemy hands. Even in its broken state, Urquhart Castle remains defiant, its presence woven into the very fabric of Scotland's history. Standing on the castle's edge, the loch stretches beyond sight, its waters carrying the glow of moonlight into the horizon. The wind is cool, the scent of pine and heather drifting from the highlands beyond. The night is quiet, save for the occasional call of an owl from the woods nearby. Here time slows, the past and present merging in the hush of the Scottish night. As you close your eyes, the ruins stand watch, just as they have for centuries. Urquhart Castle may no longer be whole, but it endures, just as the stories of its past do. And as the first light of dawn begins to brush against the Highlands, the waters of Loch Ness ripple once more, keeping their secrets safe for another day. Perched high on a rugged cliff, surrounded by the crashing waves of the North Sea, Dunnottar Castle stands as one of Scotland's most breathtaking and formidable strongholds. The path to its entrance winds through the windswept moors, where the scent of salt and wild heather fills the air. Below, the sea churns against the rocks, its endless motion a constant reminder of the passage of time. The first glimpse of the castle through the mist is mesmerizing. A fortress seemingly suspended between sky and water, isolated yet unyielding. Dunnottar has witnessed sieges, betrayals, and moments of unshakable defiance. The castle's stone walls, weathered by centuries of wind and rain, whisper of the warriors who once walked these grounds. It was here that Scotland's crown jewels were hidden from Oliver Cromwell's forces, preventing them from falling into enemy hands. It was also here that the castle's defenders, refusing to surrender, endured one of Scotland's most brutal sieges. Each stone carries the weight of history, each archway a portal to the past. Through the main gate, the courtyard opens, revealing the remnants of the great hall, where the clan chiefs and nobles once gathered beneath towering beams. The hall now stands open to the sky, the stars watching over the ruins as if keeping guard over its secrets. The sound of the sea echoes through the empty chambers, filling the space where once there was laughter, plotting, and the clinking of goblets filled with Highland whiskey. Beyond the hall, a winding passage leads to the Whig's Vault, a dark and somber chamber where prisoners were once held. The thick stone walls seem to carry the echoes of those who languished here, their fate sealed by shifting allegiances and the iron grip of history. Some say the whispers of the past still linger in the vault's damp air, carried by the wind that slips through the narrow gaps in the stone. Climbing to the battlements, the view is nothing short of awe-inspiring. The cliffs plunge into the sea below, waves crashing against the rocks in a rhythm as ancient as the land itself. The wind, carrying the salty breath of the ocean, tugs at your clothing, as if urging you to step closer to the edge, to take in the sheer power of the landscape. The sight of seabirds gliding over the waters adds a touch of serenity to the otherwise wild and untamed beauty of the castle's surroundings. At dawn, the first rays of sunlight paint the stone walls in hues of amber and gold, revealing the battle scars left by time. The castle, though now in ruins, remains unyielding, a guardian of Scotland's past, standing defiant against the elements. As you close your eyes, the distant crash of the waves lulls you into sleep. Dunnottar Castle, ever watchful, remains as it always has, a sentinel on the cliffs, caught between the heavens and the sea, a place where history whispers on the wind. The morning mist drifts lazily across the waters of Loch Leitch, revealing the silhouette of Castle Stalker, a solitary stone sentinel standing proudly on a tiny tidal islet. The air is cool and still, broken only by the occasional call of a water bird gliding over the loch's glassy surface. From the shore, the sight is almost dreamlike. A medieval tower rising from the water, its reflection rippling gently beneath it. Enclosed by the vast untamed beauty of the Scottish Highlands, it seems untouched by time, a castle suspended between land, sky, and sea. As the boat glides closer, the water lapping softly against the hull, the castle's imposing four-story structure comes into full view. Built in the 14th century by the MacDougals and later seized by the Stuart clan, Castle Stalker has seen clan feuds, shifting allegiances, and the passage of centuries. Its name, derived from the Gaelic Stalker, meaning hunter, is fitting. This fortress has long stood as an elusive, almost mythical presence, changing hands, yet always maintaining its mystery. Stepping onto the rocky islet, the castle looms above, its grey stone walls worn but enduring. A narrow stairway leads inside, where the interior feels intimate compared to the grandeur of Scotland's vast strongholds. The flickering light from torches casts long shadows along the stone corridors, and the scent of aged timber and damp stone lingers in the air. In the great hall, a massive fireplace dominates the space, its soot-streaked stones whispering of long-ago feasts, crackling hearths, and the murmurs of Highland chiefs strategizing over goblets of whiskey. A winding stair spirals upward, leading to the parapet, where the loch spreads out in every direction, its waters stretching toward the distant peaks of Mull and Morvern. From here, it is easy to imagine the watchful gaze of sentries, scanning the horizon for approaching vessels, their hands gripping the hilts of broadswords as they stood ready to defend their fortress. The winds carried the scent of brine and heather, rustling through the surrounding hills and moors. Despite its history of conflict, Castle Stalker is a place of peace, a hidden gem in the heart of the Highlands. At high tide, it is completely isolated, its only link to the mainland severed by the rising waters, leaving it adrift in solitude. The walls hum with the echoes of history, yet here time slows. The stillness of the loch, the whispering wind, and the distant cry of an osprey create an atmosphere of serene reflection. As the day fades, the castle is bathed in twilight, its silhouette stark against the fading hues of purple and gold in the sky. The gentle rhythm of the tide becomes a lullaby, carrying you into a state of calm. With its timeless presence and secluded beauty, Castle Stalker is a place of stories, of solitude and of dreams, where history lingers in the air, and the waters of Loch Leitch guard its secrets under the watchful gaze of the stars. The rich amber glow of whiskey swirls in a glass, catching the flickering light of a crackling fire. In the heart of the Scottish Highlands, a traditional whiskey distillery stands against the backdrop of rolling hills, heather-clad moors, and glens steeped in legend. The scent of oak, malt, and peat fills the air, blending with the crispness of the evening breeze. Here, Scotland's most famous spirit is born, a drink that carries within it the soul of the land, the whispers of history, and the warmth of a Highland welcome. Whiskey, or Whisky Beatha in Gaelic, meaning water of life, has flowed through Scotland for centuries. The process is a time-honored craft, a delicate balance of grain, pure Scottish water, fermentation and the patient artistry of aging in oak casks. Each region boasts its own unique character. Speyside's honeyed and fruity notes, Islay's smoky and briny intensity, the Highlands' bold and complex flavors, and the Lowlands' gentle floral elegance. The tour begins in a traditional stone-walled distillery, where copper stills gleam under the warm glow of overhead lights. The air is thick with the aroma of fermenting barley, a sweet and earthy scent that hints at the transformation taking place. A master distiller explains the intricate process: mashing, fermenting, distilling, and aging, each step an art form perfected over generations. There is reverence in his voice as he describes how time itself plays a role, how the casks breathe with the seasons, imparting layers of depth and complexity into the whiskey's golden hue. In the aging warehouse, rows of barrels stretch into the shadows, their wood darkened by time. Some casks have rested for decades, their contents slowly absorbing the essence of the oak, drawing out flavors of vanilla, spice, and a whisper of the sea. There is something almost meditative about the stillness here, the quiet patience of time itself at work. The moment of tasting arrives. The first sip is smooth and warming, rolling over the tongue with a burst of flavors: smoky peat, honeyed heather, dark fruits, and the faintest hint of salt carried on a coastal breeze. Each glass tells a story, a reflection of the land from which it came. A dram from Islay carries the soul of the wild, wind-swept shores. A Speyside malt is gentle, refined, the taste of a sun-dappled glen. Outside, under a star-strewn Highland sky, the night carries a crispness that enhances the lingering warmth of whiskey. A soft wind rustles through the heather, and somewhere in the distance, a river hums its ancient tune. Here, with a dram in hand, surrounded by Scotland's vast and timeless beauty, there is a sense of stillness, of being in harmony with the past and present. As the fire crackles and the whiskey lingers on the tongue, there is no rush, only the slow unraveling of time, the embrace of warmth against the cool of the night, and the quiet magic of Scotland's most cherished tradition. The wind whispers through the rugged cliffs of the Isle of Skye, carrying the scent of salt and heather. Beneath the ever-changing sky, the Cuillin Mountains rise like jagged spires, their peaks shrouded in mist, their slopes carved by time itself. This is a land of myth and mystery, where the landscape feels ancient, untouched, a place where the veil between reality and folklore seems thin. It is said that here, in the heart of Skye, magic lingers in the stones, the rivers, and the wind. The journey begins along the winding road that leads to Sligachan, where an old stone bridge arches over a fast-moving river. Legend tells that the waters of this river hold the gift of eternal beauty, a promise granted by the fairies themselves. The surface glimmers in the light, inviting travelers to dip their hands, to let the cool water run over their fingers, connecting them to the whispers of the past. Further along, the fairy pools shimmer with an otherworldly light, their crystal-clear waters cascading down from the Cuillins in a series of waterfalls and turquoise pools. The air is filled with the gentle roar of the falling water, and the mist clings to the rocks, creating an ethereal atmosphere. It is easy to see why the locals believe this place to be enchanted, a secret meeting place of the fairies, hidden from the mortal world. Through the rolling moors and along the craggy coastline, the road leads to Dunvegan Castle, the stronghold of the MacLeod clan for over 800 years. It is here that the legendary fairy flag is kept, a sacred relic believed to hold protective magic, bestowed upon the clan by a fairy queen. Stories speak of battles won and warriors shielded from harm, all under the banner of this ancient tattered silk. Standing within the castle's walls, the weight of history is palpable, the echoes of clansmen and kings still lingering in the air. As the sun sets, the Old Man of Storr looms against the crimson sky, a towering rock formation standing like a sentinel over the land. It is said to be the remains of a fallen giant, turned to stone in his grief. The landscape feels alive, as if the mountains themselves are breathing, shifting, telling their stories through the wind. Nightfall brings a new kind of magic. The northern lights sometimes grace the skies above Skye, their ribbons of green and violet dancing over the darkened peaks. The stars shine with an unmatched brilliance, reflected in the still waters of the lochs below. The mountains, ancient and watchful, stand as they always have, silent keepers of the past, whispering their tales to those who are willing to listen. With the cool Highland breeze on the skin and the scent of the sea lingering in the air, sleep comes easily. The legends of Skye, carried on the wind, weave themselves into dreams, filling the night with stories of warriors, fairies, and the untamed beauty of Scotland's most mystical isle. In the stillness of the Scottish night, where the lochs mirror the starlit sky and the hills whisper in the wind, the ancient myths of the Celts come alive. Scotland is a land where folklore lingers, woven into the very fabric of the earth, a place where fairies, selkies, and spirits walk unseen, where the echoes of druids and warriors still hum in the quiet twilight. The Bean Nye, the spectral washerwoman of the Highlands, is said to appear by moonlit rivers, washing the blood-stained clothes of those fated to die. With hollow eyes and sorrowful wails, she lingers at the water's edge, a harbinger of destiny. Some fear her, while others whisper that she is not a creature of malice, but a lost soul, one who, when spoken to gently, may reveal secrets of the future. Deep in the heart of the lochs, the kelpies stir, shape-shifting water spirits, their dark, glistening coats blending with the rippling currents. To the unwary traveler, they may appear as majestic black horses, their eyes filled with unearthly beauty. But those who dare climb upon their backs are never seen again, pulled beneath the water into the depths of legend. Loch Ness, shrouded in mist and mystery, is said to hide one such creature, though whether it is beast or spirit remains unknown. Along the coast, where the waves kiss the rugged cliffs, another story unfolds. The tale of the Selkies, gentle beings who live as seals in the sea, but shed their skins to dance upon the shore in human form. Many a fisherman has fallen in love with a Selkie maiden, stealing her sealskin to keep her bound to the land. Yet the call of the ocean is eternal, and the Selkie always finds her way home, disappearing beneath the waves, leaving only footprints in the sand. In the deep green forests, the echoes of the Tuatha De Danann, the ancient gods of the Celts, are said to linger. Once rulers of the land, they withdrew into the hidden places, into the Sidhe, the fairy mounds where the passage of time bends and twists. It is said that on Samhain, when the veil between worlds grows thin, their footsteps may still be heard in the rustling leaves, their laughter carried on the wind. And then there is the wild hunt, the spectral procession that rides across the stormy skies on windswept nights. Led by the ghostly figure of Herne the Hunter or the ancient Celtic god Cernunnos, the hunt sweeps through the land, hooves thundering in the darkness. Some say they chase the souls of the lost, while others believe they are guardians of the old ways, forever bound to the rhythm of the seasons. As the night deepens, the myths grow quieter, settling into the stones, the waters, the trees. The stories of Scotland are not confined to books or memory. They live in the land itself, in the hush of a Highland glen, in the glimmer of a loch at dawn, in the soft footfalls of something unseen. With these legends in mind, sleep comes like a gentle tide, carrying the dreamer to places unseen, where the ancient myths of Scotland whisper in the stillness of the night. As the final embers of the hearth flicker in the great hall of the castle, the air is filled with the quiet hum of ancient stories. The stone walls, weathered by time, hold the echoes of centuries past, whispers of kings and queens, warriors and poets, spirits and legends. Outside, the Highland wind moves gently through the trees, carrying the scent of heather and mist over the darkened hills. Beyond the castle walls, Scotland sleeps beneath a vast, star-strewn sky. The northern lights shimmer faintly on the horizon, casting an ethereal glow over the lochs and mountains. The rivers flow softly, their waters reflecting the silver moon, and in the distance, the gentle call of an owl carries through the night. In this land of castles and folklore, of mysteries and myths, time feels suspended, as if the past and present exist side by side. Whether in the warmth of a grand hall or the solitude of a windswept glen, Scotland's magic lingers, woven into the land itself, waiting to be found by those who listen. The night deepens, the fire fades, and sleep arrives, wrapping around the dreamer like a Highland mist. And somewhere, in the quiet corners of the mind, the legends of Scotland continue to whisper, guiding the way into a world of peaceful dreams. We hope you enjoyed today's serene journey and found peace in our gentle narration. Do join us next time as we make a relaxing visit to another of the world's most iconic places. Sweet dreams and safe travels until we meet again.